So, Hamburg against Bayern Munich. It's match day 9. This is the 105th time they've met in the top flight. Only Bremen have played Hamburg more often than Bayern Munich. Bayern know that a win today by a considerable number will put them back at the top of the Bundesliga. If you're just joining us after the kickoff, I'm Phil Bonney. I'll be with you through to the end. Today, Lutz Pfannenstiel, who was a goalkeeper by trade, he's now the Director of International Relations and Scouting at Hoffenheim, and has played in every single one of the FIFA confederations. What sort of a game are you going to expect from the visitors today? Because it's pretty much the focus on them, as you mentioned earlier, before the kickoff, to come away with all 3 points.
Yeah, I think lots of people still talk about the new and old manager, Jupp Heynckes, which is obviously a legend of German football, or the most successful coach at Bayern Munich. I think since he took over from Carlo Ancelotti, they are back to their normal ways, they're back to the winning ways, but still it showed that defensively there still is some issues they need to solve. But playing against Hamburg, which has their own trouble at the moment, Bayern Munich will try a big passing game, lots of passing around, and try really to prepare them to get their chances and create lots of chances too.
And of course there's quite a few players on the pitch that also on the subs bench that you've known in your career as well. A lot of Hoffenheim influence with the likes of obviously David Alaba was at Hoffenheim, Niklas Süle, Rudi, and to name the 3. Jürgen Maguire is another one who came 1 point near you, I think, was it? Oh no, he played at Hoffenheim, not Hoffenheim, Bochum.
It seems that Bayern Munich, they like to go shopping in Hoffenheim and take a few guys from us, which is it's a compliment, you know. If one of the biggest teams in the world, or definitely the biggest team in Germany, regularly tries to look at your players and brings them in, it's something special.
Roar from the crowd as Andre Hahn gives the ball up to Dennis Diekmeyer, headed away though by Mats Hummels, and Sven Ulreich comfortably behind that shot, but a promising start from the home side.
Yeah, I think you can see already after 2 minutes that they are not scared, that Hamburg is really going to attack, they're not just sitting back. You see it again now that they're having actually 3 guys quite high. Bobby Wood directly running at the goalkeeper, running at the last defender, and that shows that they don't just want to barricade themselves in front of the 18-yard box.
Lewandowski with the header. Hunt. The Dutch youngster, Rick van Tongeren. Douglas Santos. Thought he'd won that throw, but Douglas Santos thought he'd won that throw, but referee awards it for Bayern. Scoring 8 goals in their last 2 games, Bayern will no doubt be intent on keeping that run going. Quite a few players rested today. Find that Thiago, Boateng, Müller and Kimmich all on the subs bench. Kimmich has started the last 13 games in all competitions for Bayern. But there's some heavy games coming up. 2 games against Leipzig, 1 in the Cup, 1 in the League. The return against Celtic, and then the Klassiker away at Dortmund. So there's plenty for Bayern fans to get excited about over the coming weeks. Coman finding his way blocked. Alaba jumps and wins the header. Vidal
Yeah, after 5 minutes you can see clearly the tactical plan of Markus Gisdol, which is a flat back five where the two wingbacks also start quite deep, but up front they're trying to make the spaces very tight, closing down, and don't give Bayern Munich will now play plenty of long balls.
Hamburg have taken just 1 point since match day 3. And they found it hard to score goals. As you say, Lutz, they're pushing down on Bayern when they get the chance to move forward. Robin looking for options. Vidal, Rafinha, James, little shimmy, trying to shake Hunt off, but Hamburg have come away with the ball. Little pullback from Tolisso. And Bobby Wood is down injured. Thomas Müller on the bench. The Bayern players wrapped up against the early autumn drizzle that's been coming into the stadium most of the afternoon.
Yeah, alone looking at the boys who were sitting now on the bench, it's pretty scary to see a bunch of international superstars sitting there waiting for their game time. I mean, it's unbelievable what offensive option especially Jupp Heynckes have in that Bayern squad.
Yes, of course, I got myself muddled up earlier on between Mergin Mavrai and Sven Schiplock, who's also on the bench and also one of your guys. Sebastian Rudi mentioned earlier as well. Lots of teams have particular places that they like to go shopping, as you mentioned. In the Premier League, Liverpool like to go to Southampton, my hometown club. But any player that's come through the Hoffenheim system or through Bayern, these players are, Schalke is another example, generally you'll find that they have a somewhat worth and quite a good training background.
Yeah, I think they're running through a very solid system in the academy, and yeah, that's what other clubs are impressed by.
Rafinha comfortably chesting that one back to his keeper. With the injury to Manuel Neuer, Sven Ulreich here on the ball has already played the same amount of minutes as he did last season in total, which is good news for him, but bad news for Manuel Neuer. Come on. Crossed come shots. Tolisso unable to get on the end of it. Header from Rafinha. Ten minutes approaching so far. Just the one effort from Hamburg in the direction of goal. Fairly tame effort, but nonetheless was on target. Rafinha dispossessed by Santos, and he's shown too much of that to Tolisso.
Yeah, Bayern München is not yet in the game that much as we expect, especially when it comes to possession or actually clear passing. They struggle a little bit with the intensity Hamburg puts on, the way they go into the duels, the way they actually attack them and run at them. So it's so far, I think in the first 10 minutes you see a very, very impressive side of Hamburg, which they were missing in the last 2-3 weeks.
And it is, of course, a question of carrying that sort of aggression and concentration through all the way to the final whistle. That's a big challenge. But with the crowd behind them, there's no saying that they might not be able to do that. Hummels. Hamburg less intent on making Ulreich play the ball now.
If you manage to force the Bayern keeper to play already after 10 minutes, 4 or 5 long balls, that shows you how high you start the game, which forces Bayern Munich to play lots of uncontrolled long balls.
And of course with the likes of Papadopoulos at the back, who just soaks those up every time.
Well, Papadopoulos, he is one of the key players. Whenever he stands on the field, Hamburg seems to get something out of the games. He's a natural leader, a little bit crazy at some stages of the game, but just a very, very powerful player, and he can make the difference.
Wood on his own, as he so often has been this season. Nice turn from Vidal. Robben, first time ball into the path of Coman. That's a great effort, or a great try from Coman to get it to Lewandowski. That just might have let Bayern in, but now it's Diekmeyer. His speed out on that right-hand side for Hamburg is going to be interesting to see when he comes up against Kingsley Coman. Two fastest players on the pitch, probably. Douglas. Gideon Young needed more time, but wasn't given it. Vidal. James. James did well to shield the ball, but the pass didn't get through. Committed tackle from Rafinha. Vidal. Robben. We're going to see some classic Robben now as he cuts in and curls for the top. Well, he didn't get underneath it, really. And Rick van Drongelen, another Dutchman, comes away with the ball.
For Bobby Wood, up front as the lone striker, will be one of the toughest games of his life, because he literally will hang in the air. He needs to chase, he needs to close the spaces, and he will run his lungs off today to really work hard for his team. I don't think he will get, he needs to use these few chances he will get.
Coman back to Vidal. And that is also the secret, is to make chances. If you're making chances, you know that you're eventually going to get somewhere near to scoring a goal, but making chances against a side like Bayern is the real trick to them.
Yeah, you don't get many, and the few chances you have to make the best out of it.
Hamburg have been getting stuck into the challenges, as you said they needed to. On that occasion, though, a little too over-enthusiastic from the captain.
It's important that they stop these little through balls, like now from Hummels, which basically passes the first line of defense, because then 3 guys are immediately out of the game, and then Bayern Munich have space on the turn, and if they can outnumber the Hamburg defense, especially on the wing, you have with Robben and with Coman that much speed on the outside that it's very difficult to defend for anybody.
Aaron Hunt with a foul on Tolisso. Aaron Hunt's 5th game of the season. Zula going back. Robben and James sorting things out for themselves. Alaba, Coman. Alaba's Coman's gone down. Mavrai. Was on hand. I'm not quite sure what happened there exactly. Jupp Heynckes watching on. Bayern with more of the ball. And a couple of shots, but neither of them were on target. So far, Christian Martinia with not a lot to do, but that might change. Free kick for Bayern. They've scored 7 goals from set pieces this season. Not from this one, though. Alaba. Coman still limping a little gingerly. Alaba's taking it. Now James. Coman. Still trying to run off that pain that he's experiencing. Vidal's there to break up the play. Connells picked a good pass for Robben. Robben had to be quick though. Getting a lot of attention from his countrymen.
Now again a bit of the change of the approach. Hamburg tries to push everybody behind the ball, all 11 men behind the ball now, standing very deep. Give actually Bayern Munich lots of time on the ball, but once they getting around 40 meters in front, then they trying to press, to squeeze and make it difficult again. So you can see lots of different kind of way to Markus Giskel tries to defend, always switching his way of defending Bayern Munich at the moment.
Robben. Coman. He's got past the young star, but Martinez there. Sees a lot of the ball for Hamburg.
Yeah, quick feed again from Coman, and then the ball is quite uncomfortable for the goalkeeper with a wet ground, with a bounce, but that technically perfectly done by Martinia. Spoons it up, yeah, I would say technically out of the book, perfect. And it's also important to get that grip on the ball, get the feeling, make the first 1 or 2 comfortable saves.
Free kick this time for Hamburg. Andre Hahn. Got a bit of an elbow from Vidal there.
Yeah, I mean, that's the game Arturo Vidal plays. He's always there, he gets stuck in, you know, he wants to let the opponent know, hello, my name is Arturo, I'm here. And I think that's typically in the first 15 minutes that he will have 1 or 2 of the situations to get the respect and actually scare people off.
It's a poor free kick from Hamburg. Hunt did well to win possession back for Hamburg. Thomas Muller's warming up. That might be because of that knock to Kingsley Coman.
And now Diekmeyer throw-in, which is very, very far with lots of speed into the box. Can be dangerous if you have the wrong position.
Knocked down by Sakai, back to Diekmeyer. Bobby Woods alone in the box. Was never going to get it in front of Niklas Zula, was he?
No, the ball was also too long in the air. Also from the position where it was played, I think that's an easy catch for Ulreich.
Won't receive it from Sakai. There's something brewing, but that was poorly executed. The captain puts his hand up to acknowledge but that didn't quite run how he'd pictured it in his head. Now with plenty of red shorts up front, Ulreich forced to kick long. Hunt winning another free kick.
Yeah, Hunt shows his experience there, you know, put the body between him and the ball, and then obviously kind of like asks kindly for the foul, which he gets in the end. So also gives Hamburg a little bit time to breathe. I think so far they played a very, very high intensive game, costs lots of power. They're running a lot more than Bayern Munich, for example. They're chasing, but they're doing it very, very effective so far. Basically Bayern Munich without a clear chance yet.
Half an hour gone, a casual pass from Andre Hahn. Easily cut out. Bayern have possession. Robin. That was well stopped, but not completely. Now it has been. Bayern fans would have liked a penalty there. Rafinha opted to cross. Now James. James had spotted the movement from Alaba. It still might get there. Alaba against Hahn. Lewandowski back to Vidal. Bayern playing with just a little more sense of urgency as the half hour approaches.
You also can see that Robert Lewandowski gets a little bit impatient. He asks more and more for the ball, comes short to pick up the ball, and then lay it back and basically moves his body back into the box.
It's a good ball. Tempting to the back post from Alaba. That's a little bit more like it. That's what he is looking for, that sort of service.
No, that's nothing. I wouldn't even call it a soft penalty. That's nothing at all. First he touches clearly the ball, and there is no contact there where you could call it a foul. But also, you know, not a dive from Coman, just a normal duel in the box. So everything good.
And it was more the fans that were actually screaming for a penalty rather than the players.
Yeah, Bayern Munich didn't ask for a penalty there.
No. So far this game, not delivering any real goal-mouth action. Hamburg, of course, very aware of the threat posed by the record champions. So far, 0-0 after half an hour. Hamburg have obviously stuck to Marcus Gisdol's game plan to this point. Bobby Wood just lost his footing as he tried to clear some space for himself to shoot. Diekmeyer. Young against Lewandowski and Tolisso. And wins a corner. That was a good little piece of work on that far side from the Hamburg team. Bit of communication going on between James and the defence. He's going to stick close to Sakai this time.
Yeah, Hunt, he takes every corner kick, in-swinger or out-swinger. Actually one of the strengths there.
They have gone short again. Hunt.
Yeah, which is, for me, I don't understand it, to be honest. It's now the second time that you're giving a a chance away, there is always some confusion. Getting a ball into the box, so you're playing it short. And if I give Bayern Munich much more time to really sort it out, and then a bad delivery on top of it. So it's tactically something which makes me question it too, if it's the right choice. Bad decision making.
With an athletic header, but it's still with Hunt.
Yeah, but you see Lewandowski works deep into his own half. I mean, that also shows that Bayern Munich is really stretched. They need to play up to their best.
Young putting a little bit of pressure on that defence. Hunt nods it forward. Bobby Wood jumps. It's still not clear. Andre Hahn away by Süle. Well, at the moment, Hamburg causing some real problems in the Bayern defence, and the crowd just love it.
Yeah, we'll call it more that actually Bayern Munich causes problems for themselves. Very, very easy, sloppy defending here from Mats Hummels, which gives Hamburg so far biggest chance of the whole game.
Now the opportunity for one of those long Dennis Diekmeyer throws. He's played every minute so far this season. Vidal, and then away by Alaba. Good challenge from Vidal. Ball was out of play. Young offside against Diekmeyer.
Well, here we see the situation again. And Mats Hummels just waits too long, but also the ball from Vidal too short. Then there is lots of confusion in the box. In the end, Niklas Süle can clear, but that just was, I think, a bit of a bad communication between Vidal and Hummels, where the ball back came too short, and Hummels actually was already with his mind on playing the next pass to distribute the ball, and it created a good chance for Hamburg.
Hamburg actually seemingly enjoying themselves a little bit. The fans with some big smiles on their faces at the moment. Still 0-0 after 35 minutes. It's been a good first half from the home side. But as you quite rightly pointed out earlier, Lutz, they've got a massive weaponry sitting on the bench. Bayern, they got plenty of options for the second half.
Yeah, what is for me missing so far is that in the center of midfield, Bayern Munich does not really get control of the game.
Well, you can see from the stats there, it's 50-50 on the challenges that have been won.
I think like Sebastian Rudi, who played a brilliant season so far, his way of calming down the game, his secure passing, I think this is missing at the moment. And yeah, James Rodriguez so far didn't really show that potential what he has. Too many easy passing mistakes. Also Vidal, I mean, yeah, he gets into the duels, he wins his balls, but when it comes to creativity so far, there is not enough from the center of midfield. And I think that Jupp Heynckes definitely will think about to do something in the half-time.
Well, Hamburg certainly putting in some running this evening as well. They've run 3 kilometres more than Bayern so far. And another corner. This time we'd probably like them to see a direct ball into the box.
yeah, it would really, I think Markus Gisdol would explode on his bench if there is now another short corner gets brought in from Aaron Hunt.
And it doesn't look as if Gotuku Sakai is going short this time. Well, maybe he is. He's being tracked by James. Hunt's concentration is definitely on the gentleman in the box. Deep towards Van Tongelen, but it's over his head. Santos. Field of legs in the way. And now Coman. And that's going to be a yellow card for Gideon Young.
Yeah, you could see already the way he approached the tackle, that it will be a tactical foul.
And just outside of our camera, there's another little fracas taking place.
Yeah, we see now that now you have lots of space and the ball is gone, so I think he really goes on purpose for the foul. I mean, I don't think it was now extremely brutal, but
oh, it's a straight red.
No, it's not straight red. I think it's a wrong decision.
A straight. The straight red came out of the top pocket.
Well, very tough decision. But from this way of looking at it now, he actually does go not for the ball. The ball is too far away, and well, that one scene now from a corner kick, it actually destroys completely the match plan of Markus Gisdol. Because now with 10 against 11 already having put that much effort in, it's very, very difficult for Hamburg.
Well, that's certainly put the ball very firmly in Bayern's court. Markus Gisdol thinking that is an awful decision.
Well, I would call it a very, very tough decision. You know, it's I think it's the way, from what angle you're looking at exactly that movement. But it rips out the heart of Hamburg's game for sure.
Well, the whistles ringing out around the Volksparkstadion. One of those decisions that referees can make if a little hard in this situation. James. 10-man Hamburg now. Will have to fight very, very, very hard indeed over the next 45 minutes or 50 minutes. Still 5 minutes left in this half, plus time added on for stoppages. Rafinha moving away on this near side. This, of course, will give more room for Bayern to play in.
And it also means that Hamburg actually needs to even put more effort in, more meters in, the extra yard in. And trust me, they will be very, very tired once the 60th minute approaches.
Well, Markus Gisdol, of course, does have 3 substitutes that he can make, so when players start to tire, and I don't think there was any doubt in anyone's mind that it was a foul and a yellow card, but red seemed just a little bit harsh to me.
No, it was definitely a foul. You even can call it a bad foul. It was, for me, more in a tactical way. But the decision in the end, and you can see now the emotions are very, very high. I mean, it has to do with this red card because everything seems to boil over now. You also can hear on the reaction of the fans that everybody is, just gets more and more agitated.
Sense of injustice in the players, in the Hamburg players, and in the crowd as well.
I mean, there is nothing really to discuss. It's a clear foul. Well, of course, the dive was maybe a bit too spectacular, but there is no reason for the Hamburg players to complain about that.
Vidal. James. Rafinha just about gets it. James. And Tonga with a great header. Pushes it out as far as Zula, but the centre-backs of Bayern sitting very high up the pitch now. Iron Robert goes to ground. Emotions like a cooking pot about to boil over.
Yeah, it gets also very scrappy now, you know, every pass you can feel it. I think we can look forward to halfway, that there is a bit of a break for the heads to cool down, for the coaches, for the managers to speak to the players, to see a second half of good football.
Robin finds no way through. Vidal looking to unlock Alaba. It was a good run from David Alaba. Ball just a little bit too much on it. Marcus Gisdol still deeply engaged in discussion with the fourth official, Robert Schroeder. That the big incident of the first half, really. There's not been too much to write home to in terms of goalmouth action, but that decision has swung the game. Certainly in favour of Bayern, who are now against just 10 players. That'll be a free kick, and the Bayern players will have to watch out for every challenge now, because there'll be appeals for yellow cards, and if he does feel that he's made a slight error of judgment, he might just try and make up for it, as we've seen referees do in the past. I'm not saying anything about Marco Fritz, but it does happen, doesn't it?
Yeah, but also not really now a rough challenge. You know, it's just, as you said, it's more now all about emotions, about the noise the crowd makes. It's all now, I think it's hot air around, and yeah, let's see what the next minutes bring.
Yeah, that can influence a referee, obviously, as well, if they feel under pressure. As I said, no accusations in Marco Fritz's direction, but we'll be talking about that 39th minute sending off for the rest of the week, I'm fairly sure, in certain corners of the Bundesliga. So Hamburg will be quite pleased if they go in at 0-0 at half-time.
Yeah, they deserved so far this result. I mean, no disrespect to Bayern, who played a normal game, you know, who had problems to deal with the tactics of Marcus Gisdol. But I think the respect so far also has to go to Hamburg, who did it very well, who really managed to go for that match plan, and it worked out for them till the red card. I mean, it still works out, but it's now more a question of time till Bayern Munich is getting more and more dominant into the game, that they will increase.
So the half-time score in the Volksparkstadion is Hamburg 0, Bayern München 0. A controversial decision to send off Gideon Jong in the 39th minute, though, has tipped this game firmly in favour of Bayern, but at the moment Hamburg holding them level. There's a lot more football in this to come. I hope that you can join me, Phil Bonney, and my co-com here today, Lutz Pfannenstiel, for the second half in about 15 minutes, when hopefully we'll see a goal or two.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think it was a 0-0 of the better ones. But after the red card, 11 against 10, I definitely think it won't stay a clean sheet on both sides.
Well, you heard it here first. See you all in a while. Bye for now.
Silver screens, believing everything we come to see. Go outside, it feels so good. We're loving and hating and making scenes.
love goes, there is also misery. It's no mystery. And you and I, we got history, yeah. Wherever love flows, there is also tragedy when we're in too deep. And you and I, we got history, yeah. Go look in the mirror, say, hey, I'm sorry for all the pain. I'm sorry for all the pain. Go look in the mirror, say, hey, I'm sorry for all the pain. I'm sorry for all the pain. Go look in the mirror, say, hey, I'm sorry for all the pain. I'm sorry for all the pain. My love, it grows with the memories like a symphony. And you and I, we got history, yeah. And when you're alone, do you say my name or you say her name? Yeah. My love, it grows with the memories like a symphony. And you and I, we got history, yeah. Wherever love flows, there is also tragedy when we're in too deep. And you and I, we got history, yeah.
You are still in my mind. The truth is so hard to find. With all the things that's going on, I lost track, I felt so strong. I got you on my mind, but something's been done wrong. Sometimes I've been thinking of what to make of me and my memories. Sometimes I've been thinking of, dreaming of what it could have been besides memories. 'Cause I still need you. Like the attention, girl, I know you. But you're everything I want in life. We're fighting danger like kung fu. The love I feel is deep inside. The others don't matter. It's honestly us against the world. We're the perfect team. You're my dream, and I just want it. Can you see myself? Can you see myself? Can you see myself? See myself? Can you see myself? Can you see myself? Can you see myself? See myself? Can you see myself? Can you see myself? See myself? Can you see myself? Can you see myself? Can you see myself? Oh baby, if you ever need a helper, you should know that I'll be there day and night. Nobody else can love you better. I'm here just to treat you right. You're the reason I'm alive. You're the only pain I can endure. And when you're not here, you're my dream, but I just want it. Yeah, I just wanna. You're my dream, but I just want it. Can you see myself? Can you see myself? Can you see myself? See myself? Can you see myself? Can you see myself? Can you see myself? See myself? Can you see myself? Can you see myself?
The first half ended 0-0, but there was a sending off. Gideon Young dismissed 6 minutes before the end of the first half. I'm Phil Bonney. I'm joined today for the commentary by Lutz Pfannenstiel, Director of International Relations and Scouting as well, is part of your job. Do you think that was a good decision by Jupp Heynckes to swap James for Thomas Müller at half-time?
Yeah, I think he did it for two reasons. Number one, there was this yellow card just before half-time, which always have this extra risk, especially with that red card Hamburg received, that there is another reaction. And secondly, I don't think that James was that much in the game as he wanted to be. So I think the inclusion now of Thomas Müller is definitely a very, very good decision, and I have a feeling that he will be trying to be the fox in the box today.
No changes at half-time for Hamburg. They're going to get tired by the end of this game. They practice a lot, 10 against 11, 6 against 7, 4 against 5. It's all going to be a matter of fitness and how well they can keep Bayern in a box, as it were.
Yeah, the waves are getting now longer and longer. You know, every meter is hurting you more and more as a player. And I think it will be seen that they will be much more deeper than they were in the first half. They will give Bayern more possession of the ball, and then automatically, with such brilliant technical players, there will be one or the other more chance created by the German champions.
Robin. Rafinha. Zula to Vidal. Tolisso brought down. They deserved their 0-0 status at half-time, Hamburg. They'd made things difficult for Bayern. But things might be a little bit more open for the record champions. That shot from Vidal took a deflection and will be the second corner of the game.
Yeah, there's too much space for Arturo Vidal, and then the deflection luckily doesn't go towards the goal, but I think Martinia would have had it covered. You know, he had a clear view onto the ball, and but a good start for Bayern Munich. I mean, they haven't had any long shot in the first half.
Robin's corner headed away. Papadopoulos goes down. That was the second corner of the game for Bayern, by the way. Hamburg have already had 3. Papadopoulos was lucky that that didn't come off the top of his thigh and cause problems for his keeper. But you saw it absolutely right. He was behind the ball, wasn't he, Mestalla? Kept in well by Alaba and Vidal together. Rafinha. I expect we'll see a lot more of those probing runs down both flanks in the second half as Bayern tried to exhaust Hamburg's defensive will and ability. Coman. Alaba. Beautifully into the space. First time cross from Alaba.
Yeah, we see that now much more, that Bayern Munich will penetrate both flanks, you know, trying to create situations where they outnumber Hamburg on the wing, and that means as wider they spread the game, as more meters Hamburg needs to go, and that will open spaces for sure.
Rafinha again. Coman wanted the ball. Tolisso to Hummels. Long for Müller. Too long.
Yeah, long balls is probably the wrong approach at this moment in time. I think it's a game of patience now. Bayern Munich needs to make Hamburg run, and needs to actually spread the balls, keep possession, and really be patient to wait for that right moment to get the chances. And once that one goal would be there, I think we would see a completely different ball game.
At the moment, Hamburg trying to do what Freiburg did to Dortmund a few match days back. They managed to keep Dortmund out. Marcus Gisdol will no doubt have had a long chat at half-time with his players as to what needs to be done. Come on. Rafinha to Robben. This is where Robinson is strongest. Little back heel from Müller. Telegraphed. Even I was expecting that. Cut out by Zula. Bayern have possession again. Robben. Two Hamburg players instantly on him.
Yeah, that's also a thing Hamburg did very well. They really doubled the Bayern player on the ball immediately, which always increased the pressure in the first half.
Well, that's not fell very nicely for Hamburg, and Tolisso makes it 1-0. And I'm not sure if that was a live long and prosper sign from Star Trek, but it certainly means something to Corentin Tolisso, and it means 1-0 for Bayern München. Tolisso's second goal of the season.
Again, the normal way over the wing, and then I think the cross-in is actually not the best, and both defenders are actually sloppy defending, really not concentrating, kind of like can't clear an easy ball, and then with a bit of ping-pong the ball ends up there at Tolisso, who has absolutely no problems from that distance. But there was I think both central defenders looked very bad there.
Hamburg undid themselves, and it was the easiest job in the end for Müller to slip the ball across to Tolisso.
Funny enough, in that goal, all three central defenders, the first time Marcus Gisdol plays with three centre-backs, were involved now in that one goal.
Thomas Müller receiving some attention. Diekmeyer, Sakai, Hahn. And the captain sees a little bit of room open up in front of him, and that was a daring challenge from Niklas Zula. Hahn, good stop from Sven Ulreich. All of a sudden this game's really beginning to light up.
So for the biggest chance, I mean, he can run into the box without any pressure, and the challenge was, as you said, very risky but fair. And then good stop here from Jens Ulreich. But actually the curling ball, he has to actually take the grip over, to use the center hand to tip the ball over the crossbar.
Hunt's corner, Papadopoulos.
But let me tell you, so far Hamburg really shows a great mentality today. You know, they not haven't given up yet. 1-0 down, 10 against 11 against the best German team. I can imagine easier games they ever played before, but it really shows that they do have a good chemistry. They are fighting, they're trying their best, and it's not over till the fat lady sings.
Well, fans do want to see their team give it everything they've got, and certainly Hamburg have done that so far. There's always a sense that you can get behind a team where you feel that they're actually bleeding for you. Substitution, Thomas Müller, who came on at half-time, has obviously been injured. That's bad news for Bayern, really bad news. They may just be taking no chances with it, but with the run of fixtures that they've got coming up in the league, in the Cup and in the Champions League, there'll be no risks taken. So
yeah, but normally Müller, a player who doesn't really stand down if he doesn't have to, you know, being now sidelined under Ancelotti quite a lot, getting now under Heinkes again the playing time he thinks he deserves. I think it's for him, if it's really a niggling muscle injury, it's a big setback after kind of like coming back in the team. It's very unlucky. Coming on at half-time, 10 minutes later you're back in the changing room. You don't really know what happened. You're looking in the mirror and think, oh my God.
And of course he provided the assist for the goal.
Well, I would say that was very effective at least.
A very effective 10 minutes. Rafinha. Robin cuts inside, dinks the ball towards Lewandowski, who's been very quiet. But the game is not over by a long way. Rafinha on the overlap. Robin's gone alone. Took a deflection. And Hamburg now looking a little bit jittery, a little bit nervous every time Bayern come forward. So unlucky not to have grabbed an equaliser through Hahn and Sakai. Good stop from Sven Ulreich. Turn from Thiago was delightful. The pass from Vidal was frightful.
Since Heinkes took over, it's definitely so far the weakest performance Bayern Munich displayed. I thought they looked very confident and comfortable against Freiburg as well, against Celtic, even though you always saw these little jittering moments in the back where the other teams getting these chances when Bayern Munich makes the mistake, which they normally don't do. And that again we just saw a few minutes ago, when suddenly they're losing concentration and the team gets a big chance. I think this is one of the main points Heinkes needs to work on in the next few weeks and really focus on that.
That's flipped beautifully forward for Lewandowski by Thiago. Some real zip in the play from Bayern at the moment. They'll be keen on finishing this game off. A quick couple of goals and that will see an end to any Hamburg resistance. At the moment though, it's a fragile 1-0 lead. A mistake, a corner, a free kick. Hamburg will be keen to use any opportunities that they're given.
Yeah, I think Bayern Munich needs to try to kill the game as quick as possible. Within the next 10-15 minutes they're having Plenty of action coming up. German Cup is just in front of the door now.
Lewandowski is going to take it alone. The two number 9s battling it out, and the number 9 with the red shorts coming out on top on that occasion.
Yeah, that's the scene from before where Lewandowski gets just in the middle of the two centre-backs. Also the ball was perfect, but then the first touch, not perfect, and Mestalla read the game very, very well and just took it off his foot.
Robert punched away by Mestalla. Diekmeyer only as far as Rafinha. Command to Alaba. Robben's in behind, and that's a good challenge from the captain. Very motivated, Gotoku Sakai. Started the last 4 games in a row. 5 if you include this one. Coman. This ball's going to go towards the back post where Vidal is lurking, as is Hummels. And it's a goal kick.
Yeah, Hamburg gets now sucked in very, very deep into their own box. Here we see the goal again. I think everything what the centre-backs, what could go wrong in the box happened there. First one, Mavrat over the ball. At the end of the day, yeah. I think that reaction of Papadopoulos says everything.
And for those of you that can lip read Greek, we apologise.
It said happy birthday.
He certainly did. Lewandowski has it cut out by Mavrat. Right in front of him, the referee plays the ball to Vidal. Diekmeyer clears it long, but it is only a clearance. Bayern building up through Robben and Rafinha. They're seeing a lot of the ball in the last 10 minutes. Lewandowski becoming more and more of a threat.
And now we see more the typical Bayern game where they always try to come over the wing, actually trying to get to the touchline and then feed Lewandowski with lots of balls in the box. That made them so lethal the last few years, actually. And as more balls you give Lewandowski, sooner or later he will score.
That one too long for Coman. Alaba took a knock for the team there. Vidal goes to curl it. Papadopoulos at the moment soaking everything up. 11 challenges recently, and 10 of them won by the man they call Papa. So, a half Englishman for a half Englishman. Aaron Hunt substituted for Lewis Holtby.
Yeah, Holtby technically really a great player. He's creative, you know, he has lots of ideas, and he's more like not a good finisher, but the guy who looks for the player with the better position who actually can score. So I think for Markus Gisdol now the clear move that he wants a player who can hold the ball more, because right now Hamburg is chasing. You know, they're too deep. The way they're standing right now, it's very difficult to score. They need to get bodies in the opposition's half.
Holtby with a lot of positional awareness. He's got an eye for that defence-splitting pass. And of course, if Bobby Wood's still got the legs to get up there. At the moment, Bayern a goal up, 2 minutes past the hour. A man advantage after the 39th minute sending off of Gideon Young. A decision that was hard, but one that can be whistled by referees. That's a good ball. Coman brings it down, and once again the defence make an absolute hash of it. Hamburg only really have themselves to blame. Their inability to clear those dangerous balls that just go popping around in the 6-yard box or just outside. They've been punished once for that. They very nearly left themselves open again. Thiago Coman, it's all starting to run smoothly for Bayern. Alaba, Papadopoulos in the way. Nice little fake shot from Robben. Now there's trouble. Too long for Vidal. But at the moment, Bayern all over Hamburg.
It looks like Bayern folds Hamburg now on the right space. We wait for the right moment to finish them off. So it smells a little bit like the second goal is coming.
Bayern doing the job that was set out for them. And they weren't the reason that Gideon Young was sent off. It was a rash challenge. They're just playing on as they are supposed to do. But Hamburg will feel a little aggrieved that they were at a disadvantage for the game off from the 40th minute onwards.
No, we saw that in the first half they had to do already much more running. You know, so it's pretty normal that from the 60 minutes onwards that they're getting tired legs. I think it's more the adrenaline and the anger from the first half which pushes them. And that's what I meant by patience.
Holtby with an important foot to keep that away from the likes of Tolisso and Rafinha.
Yeah, that looks now like a nice passing exercise in a training session. Make the ball run, make the opponent run.
Thiago losing out in the end. That was well won back. Lewandowski, still Lewandowski, he'll have to check back. Sakai gets up off the floor. Lewandowski outdone by the other number 9. Holtby couldn't keep that one in. Well, fouls and challenges equal. Really, there was just that mess up in the Hamburg defence that led to the goal. Thomas Muller assisting for Corentin Tolisso and substituted off after just 10 minutes of the second half. No doubt about it, Bayern fully in control of this game now. And the question does seem to be begging to be asked, is it? It's just a matter of time until that second goal goes in.
It shows that Süle more or less plays deep in the opposition's half. Also Hummels always in attack.
Come on! Thiago made some room for himself there and nobody seemed to close him down.
Yeah, but Martini have a clear view to the ball, sees it coming all the way, and that's a pretty standard save. You know, I think it takes much more for Kingsley Coman to beat him from that distance.
I was surprised as the field opened up in front of Thiago that Thiago didn't go for it himself. Because he's also got an eye for a shot from distance. And he's certainly not afraid to try. I've seen outrageous goals from him before. Patient Bayern build-up. Thiago. Vidal. Too much air under that ball.
Yeah, it's also not easy now for Bayern Munich, where so many bodies are inside the box, really trying to destroy every single little gap.
Curled into the path of Robben, but Christian Martini was there Mestalla with the most passes for Hamburg so far this season, 218. That's what he's done today.
Yeah, also a clear sign that one of the tactical moves of Hamburg is that playing lots and lots of long balls. This is a clear tactical move and not really try to waste time playing out from the back. Normally they lump the ball, trying really then to close up there, press in the opposition's half and looking for the second ball. It's a pretty easy way of football, but sometimes it works. In the first 2 games it worked brilliantly, then not anymore.
Van Dongen gets the crowd excited. That's a poor first touch from Santos, but Sakai's there to tidy up and keep possession for Hamburg. He hasn't got a lot of options on. And of course, since the departure of Pierre-Michel Lasogga, and last season he wasn't in his usual form due to injury, and they haven't really got anybody, a big number 9 up front to stop those balls or hold the ball up when it comes from a long ball out from Mestalla. And I think that might also have been a negative effect for them this season when they do try and do the long ball.
I mean, usually Hahn, Wood as well as Hunt are players who can do that role, but they're not the typical centre forward like Lasogga was, for sure, or like a Lewandowski is. So this typical target player is missing.
Robin. That ball to the back post. Mestalla was brave, had to come, had to get it, and did. And there was a nice moment there between Tolisso and Mestalla. He just checked he was all right after there was a slight piece of contact. Douglas put that one out for a corner.
Yeah, very good chip ball just behind the defense. And then Mestalla actually slips a little bit, but in full stretch he comes with 2 fists on the ball. And then also very fair play from Tolisso, who sees the goalkeeper and steps away.
Thiago off the post. Great shot from Thiago, but they're still not out of the woods. Hamburg, this is Robin. Nobody was expecting the ball to go there. It's just the sort of shot that Thiago relishes. And he had time to set it up too. "20 minutes to play, 1-0 the score. Bayern in control against 10-man Hamburg. Come on. Fast feet causing a lot of trouble for the Hamburg defence. Robert didn't choose the easiest pass, but that's a good win back by Vidal. Robin has his shot blocked at short range. Hamburg fending off Bayern with everything they've got. Vidal thought about it. Zula's gone for it. And it worried Mestalla enough to dive into the path.
Yeah, much too much space here. And then I think he has enough time to put the ball on his foot. Really watch where the goalkeeper stands. Then he slides it with the inside of the foot. Actually a great shot. I don't think Mestalla was even near that ball. And it already looked like that was the decision. But now really every second minute you see a clear chance of Bayern Munich. In the first half they basically created nothing. Now in the second half, not just because of 10 against 11, just simply the class is showing. And I think the second half is a very dominant, good performance by the German champions against the team of Hamburg, which fights with everything they have. But in the end of the day, the quality, inclusive the 10 against 11 disadvantage, makes the difference.
Sakai wanted too long. Vidal has made a few great challenges recently. A little trip there from Sakai. And he'll get a yellow card. The captain knew what he was doing.
Just a little flick on the heel.
Second yellow of the season for Gotoku Sakai. And this, of course, leaves a free kick opportunity for Bayern. It's too far out for a direct shot. Robin will try and stick this on the head of Lewandowski or Zula. Rafinha gathers it in. Thiago. Vidal to Alaba. They've got room now to play those kind of passes. Rafinha trying to lay the ball in behind for Mats Hummels. Seven times this season, Bayern have hit the aluminium. Patience from Bayern. Oh, that was a chop from Tolisso. The fans will be wanting a yellow card for this one too, and they're going to get it. Dennis Dinkmeyer still holding his leg. And a second yellow card of the season for Corentin Tolisso. Quarter of an hour to play. Still 1-0. Well, he was intent on playing the ball there. There was no malice or forethought in that challenge. He was just a little bit late. Substitution. And it's for Hamburg. That is Tatsuya Ito. Played 55 minutes against Mainz last time out, most so far. And Filip Kostic, who was out with a torn muscle, came back against Mainz and didn't make the starting lineup today.
But a very, very exciting player. With his speed, especially his one-against-one skills. I think Markus Gisdol now tries everything. Put two very speedy players on. Players with lots of attacking flair who can actually, when they come into a counter-attack, can be very, very dangerous.
It's Bayern that are counter-attacking at the moment. Nice turn from Lewandowski. Now Hamburg have got trouble. Robin through to Lewandowski. And a good block from Mergin Mavrai. Puts it out for a corner. Lewandowski doesn't need asking twice.
Yeah, good ball, but I mean Hamburg again very tight there, and Mavrai with a very, very good tackle in the end. Intercepts very intelligently, so nothing really could Lewandowski to do about that one.
Robin. Hummels, back post was the target, and it was inches wide.
Yeah, free header here. And would have been unstoppable for anybody, you know. Great header, he stands in the air. But you shouldn't get a player like Hummels, which is very, very solid and strong in the air, come that free to a clear header. But one more word to the two changes. I think that is now the try Markus Gisdol have, where he puts everything on attackingly, which is possible. Two speedy guys up front, and it's all or nothing now. They managed to come in the last 15 minutes of the game, only 1-0 down, 1 man down, and they will try everything now with the two wizards on the side.
Kostic with the cross, which is too long for anybody. Sakai holds it up. Great ball. It's out for a corner. Will this be the day that we see Dennis Diekmeyer finally score? This is the sort of situation that he just might get something. He's played a lot of games and he's never scored. 189 in all. Scoring an equaliser against Bayern Munich would certainly be a reward for that amount of time without scoring. The big man up from the back, Papadopoulos is there as well. Holtby lifts it towards the back post. Sven Ulreich loses control. Kostic tries to put it back in. Alaba clears. Coman and Robert. Another couple of speedy characters. There are some fast players out there now. Bayern have it back under control. That waiting game begins again. Probing, passing, moving. Looking for the slightest chink in the armour. Tolisso, no-look pass. That was nicely done. Wood, it's 3-on-2. Now it's Kostic. Kostic went for the spectacular.
That's what they're looking for. They're looking to get corner kicks and free kicks to get one or the other set pieces, because that is the only way to score now. Out of the open way, very easy. And that scene is also, it shows how unsecure actually Ulreich is. It's not a difficult ball long in the air and he have to grab the ball or put the fist there, but it's too risky to catch a ball if you're not 100% convinced to get it.
Holtby. Headed away by Hummels. That was a great piece of skill from Thiago. Took it on his thigh. Got it for Robben. Robben finds Douglas. Santos in the way. Ten minutes to play. Brave Hamburg performance against 11 men with only 10. But as it stands, Bayern will have all 3 points. We have seen some massive scores in the past between these two sides, but not this time so far. Thiago, Rafinha, Vidal, Alaba, that left foot is great from a dead ball. Really swung at that one a little bit too much. Marcus Gisdol will still not have given up on squeezing a point out of this game.
I'm actually amazed after 80 minutes with 10 men that Hamburg still tried to press as Ulreich to the long ball.
Lewandowski, this time he got the better of Papadopoulos, and now the speed of Robben through the centre. Good stop by Mestalla. Hamburg defending with everything they've got. Lewandowski, he's had a little look, he's got support. Coman outside of him, Alaba, and it's a corner. That second goal for Bayern just does not want to come at the moment.
Yeah, Bayern Munich counter-attacks, and then Martinia, very, very brave, comes out with his full body, actually gets also a bit of a boot in the face, you see now here. So definitely painful, but no intention. Bayern and Robben, but that was well done by Martinia, who made himself very big, who came out at good speed and made it very difficult for the Dutchman to score.
Thiago thumps it, off the post from Corentin Tolisso. The 8th time this season that Bayern have hit the aluminium. That was a good header too. I think Martinia was beaten all ends up that time. Bayern will be disappointed if they don't come away with all 3 points. This is Ito, the youngster, not afraid. He's full of movement, very fast and zippy on the ground.
Yeah, good run to the short post, and there was nobody nearby. Martini only could have actually watched it going in.
Another corner for Hamburg, 7th of the game. Needs to be a good one. Papadopoulos couldn't get underneath it. Sakai to Ito. Ito will want to run at the Bayern defence. Unfortunately, that was asking a lot of Filip Kostic, who applauds the idea.
Yeah, but since Ito came in, whenever he has the ball, it gets dangerous. He's very, very crafty on the ball, quick feet, very, very difficult to hold on. Here we see him again, straight away goes again, and Ulreich again forced to play the long ball. I think we saw it now for the 8th or 9th time in this game.
That one went to Coman. Kingsley Coman. Oh, he's done ever so well to get inside. Now he's got a choice to make. Is it the right one? Oh, Thiago couldn't get his foot over the ball. Vidal hammers it into the hands of Martini, and Bayern are denied a second again. And the plan seems to be just lob that ball up front to Ito as quickly as possible.
Yeah, another brilliant chance.
Hummels, come on. Here come Bayern again. There's still 5 minutes to go. Vidal, Robben. Bayern players packing the box. Robben wants to take it on his own. He's running out of options. I'll go back and start again. Robben, Rafinha on the overlap. Thiago. Alaba. Great control, first touch. This is how it stands with the current results. Bayern in second on goal difference. With Leipzig and Schalke chasing them.
If in this scene Coman would have looked for a penalty, he would have got it.
Robben, even at his age, still full of running. Sakai winning it back for Hamburg. Ito back to his keeper. Martini kicking. Well, he was trying to kick long, but it went more up than out. Bayern just soaking up the balls through the middle. Rafinha did well. Lewandowski slightly out of his comfort zone. But really, Bayern don't have to score a second if they can just pass the ball around for the next 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah, by now they should be actually in a comfortable lead. They created enough chances to be up 2 or 3 goals. But you know, like it is, sometimes it bites you in the end if you don't finish it.
Come on. And queuing up, Robben! They should have been 2 or 3 up by now.
Oh, yeah.
Did everything right except hit the target. Good ball from Coman.
The gaps now in the Hamburg defense getting bigger and bigger. So basically, if Bayern Munich wants to, they create their chances. minute after minute.
Here they come again. Rafinha. Rafinha. Robin again. And Rafinha again. Thiago with his arm up on this near side. Alaba's gone for it. Papadopoulos stood in the way of it. Ito forces Alaba to put it out for a throw. Diekmeyer. There's still a couple of minutes left. There'll be some time added on at the end of the half, that's for sure. Papadopoulos judging his header with great skill. Ulreich kicks long, interception by Mavrai. Gets it back from Kostic. Well, the last time they played here last season on match day 5 on that occasion, it finished 1-0 to Bayern. That does seem to be the way it's going today. Lewandowski. Vidal. And Robin has worked tirelessly for the team today, as has Alaba. Who do you think was the standout player today for you, Lutz?
I think Bayern played it very professional. Nobody stood out for me directly. I think that Lewandowski is fuming because he didn't really get the chances he needed. But I think that Tolisso was, for me, the best player on the Bayern Munich team.
Kostic brought down by Woods, but it was too far away from Ito. Papadopoulos too rough on Lewandowski. Marcus Gisdol on his feet. Diekmeyer. It's deep, too deep for Papadopoulos, who's run himself into the ground today.
Yeah, he's such a hard worker, you know. To have him on the team, you don't want to have him against you, but if he plays in your team, then you are very, very fortunate.
Bayern with a chance to grab a second and put the game to bed. Come on! That was the biggest chance that Lewandowski's had in the entire game.
But that's a typical Lewandowski. You don't see him for 91 minutes and then he's missing by an inch.
And I think that hit the post again. I think that's another aluminium strike for Bayern.
But unbelievable how many chances we saw today, especially in the second half. Bayern created chance after chance, but just couldn't close it.
All or nothing now for Hamburg. Tolisso completely misjudged that header. Mavrai misjudged that ball as well. Thiago. He's got inside Mavrai. Robin's offside. And time is up. Referee wanting to make a substitution. And that's one way of running the clock down and finishing this game off. Hardly worth making the shirt and shorts dirty, really, was it? Kimmich.
Tactical change, just to win maybe 10 or 20 seconds, but that's the last ball.
Referee brings the game to a close. It's a 1-0 win for Bayern Munich in the Volksparkstadion, just like it was last season.